Guys, I've got a hypothetical question for you. The answer might surprise you. Should racists be held accountable for their actions? All of you who are saying no right off the bat are, yeah, you're gonna change your tune real quick on that one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. All you people like, no, and then you hear the actual question, you forgot. Well, share with me your intrigue, okay? Now, a warning. This video has the N-word in it. So if you're one of those types who catches on fire when you hear it, that's your warning. But let's check out this TikTok together, okay? I've been meaning to get into TikTok, okay? Lots of really cool stuff. Good community, you know? Woo, that's loud.
Hey, today we're making...
niggers.
First we have...
The classic.
Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty black.
Yeah. Next we have... Don't have a dad.
Don't have a dad? Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have... Eat watermelon and fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
Yeah.
watermelon? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's yeah.
Next one is make good choices. Let's see. Oh.
There's
Get it? The cup is
nothing
empty
there.
this time.
Next we have... Rob people.
Specifically whites. Yeah, they do that.
Last one is...
Go to jail?
Did you all like it? I know, it's a real gut buster. So, that happened. Now, I know what you're thinking. You know, I know what you're thinking. For how long must we live with the yoke of oppression? You know, maybe one day, overthrow the jackbooted thugs of racial tyranny and live in a world of... Well, this video has 7.7 million views. And I've got great news for all of you. Their lives are over. Those two, their lives are done. I'm really sorry, folks. I mean, sorry, you know, it's over. I believe if my sources are correct, they're high school seniors, both 18. They have both been expelled. They will not be going into the colleges that they were lined up to go to. Pretty sure the guy got kicked from an athletics team as well. There's been a huge amount of public fallout. Their lives are completely over. This seems to be like about as bad as that. Remember that one lady, that one white girl who flew over, they took a flight and they were like, I'm going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, or some stupid shit like that. And then they had like 20 followers, and when they landed, their life was over. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? Because like it got sent to their employer and it was like a news thing, you know, like this huge yeah, that was cringe. Well, the hope I don't get AIDS thing, while undeniably racist, I think you could at least play it off with like she's just a fucking idiot. I don't know if you can do that with this one. I feel like there is actually a very high level of intentionality going on over here. So I really want this to sink in. When I say their lives are over, I mean it. Like, as far as I can tell, this is circulated around the internet and back. Their information was posted immediately. Stephanie Freeman, the guy's name is out there. I don't know what it is offhand. They're like, whew, like, man, it's done. Now, I feel like I need to do this almost sort of like as a precursor to any actual discussion that I want to have. No. A Jew for you, that's an excellent question. And everyone, please hold your breath for a moment, okay? So I'd like to lay these sort of addendums out, if I may. I feel a responsibility to as somebody who got a sociology degree. So they want to make N-word. They want to make N-words. Now, the first thing that offends me about this is actually how starkly unfunny it is. This is going to astonish you guys, but I am actually far more willing to tolerate problematic stuff if it's funny. I know that's like probably not great, but I do appreciate at least a little bit of artistry being delivered there. It's still bad. I don't support it, but at least if there's like effort being put into it, I think it's you can make an argument at least like, oh, you know, I was trying to be edgy, you know, the joke landed. This is horrifically unfunny. This is astonishingly unfunny. And the thing that makes that truly abhorrent to me is that have you guys ever been in a position where you had a really fucking funny joke, but you knew it was going to offend someone? And then you make the joke anyway, and when some people get offended, you just like shrug. You're like, I'm sorry, it was really fun. I'm sorry, it was really funny. You know, I think it happens to most of us. There's a level of plausible deniability there that isn't present when the thing you're saying is completely unfunny. Because if it's completely unfunny, there was no justification for doing it. You just wanted to be racist. But we can go over this real quick. Like, okay, so they want to make N words. Okay, like I guess I don't have to say it myself.
First we have black.
So first we have black. I feel like that's pretty. Yes, I feel like that's pretty self-evident. I imagine. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty black.
Yeah. Next we have don't have a dad.
Don't have a dad. You know what's interesting? Historically, there's actually been a very persistent effort on the part of white supremacists and the establishment to break fathers away from black families. Even as far back as the days of the transatlantic slave trade, very often to break black communities, or African black back then, slave traders would steal the father away, because in their patriarchal societies, well, African tribes were patriarchal too, but I imagine in a very different way. In their societies, if you rob the family of a dad, you've robbed of its core, of its root. So they would take the fathers away specifically with the intention of weakening these tribes, which make them, of course, easier to prey on in the future. We've kind of continued that trend nowadays. After all, one of the reasons why there's such a high rate of fatherlessness in the black community in America today is because young black men are so habitually locked up for crimes that other racial groups aren't typically disproportionately targeted for. Like, you know, black folk get locked up 4 times as much for weed than white folk. I mean, there's no justification for that in the slightest, you know, except for racist ones. Also, by failing to provide good education and good contraceptive access in these communities, you guarantee a lot more folks going to get knocked up early, which means it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to get people in positions of not growing up with a father.
A dad? Yeah.
So yeah, we got
eat watermelon and
this is what I mean by not even funny. Like, eat watermelon and fried chicken. Holy shit, dude. Enjoy your fucking 2-century-old meme. Like, gee, like, fuck me, dude. I've been a little fucking edgy edgelord in the past too. This has never been funny. Like, not the only reason it would be funny is if you were just racist. You know what I mean?
And fried chicken. Yeah.
Next one is make good choices.
Make good choice, and then the joke is they don't make good choices.
There.
Yeah.
Next we have.
Generally speaking, people's abilities to make good choices are very heavily influenced by by their environment and level of education. If you put black folk in bad environment, they're going to make bad decisions. That's just life. Same happens to poor folk. A lot of overlap there.
Rob people.
Rob people, haha.
Yeah, they do that.
Last one is.
Where does the fried chicken shit come from anyway? I don't know the actual reason, but the only guess that I have pertaining to the fried chicken meme is that white people just didn't know how to cook and they got mad and jealous when they saw black people cooking, so they made fun of them for it.
Go to jail?
And they go to jail. There we go. See? We get the meme. All right, okay, I've done my addendum. Now, here's the punch. Yeah, well, everyone loves fried chicken. That's the thing. It doesn't even, like, make sense. Like, what are you making fun of them for? Yeah, fried chicken is like a Southern food thing. A lot of black folk in the South, at least, you know, historically. Fried chicken's tasty. I ate fried chicken yesterday. Like, what do you want? Vosh, you're taking it too seriously? I don't think so. This may be a bunch of flippant, errant, racist comments that weren't really motivated by, like, any research, but I do think it's important that people understand that our opposition to racist shit like this isn't just because it's offensive, it's also because it's wrong. I think it's important to reinforce that. The idea that people should be silent about something merely because it offends others is one which reinforces all those anti-SJW bits about how we hate free speech. I make the argument, not, in fact, that it's bad because it's offensive. It's bad because it's wrong. And I think that's sort of the real killer there, you know? Or misleading and wrong, I should say. So, remember how I said, oh yeah, and the sublime irony of these two motherfuckers saying, black people don't make good choices while recording themselves being racist in a video that later led to the end of their lives. Okay? I you know, just a little salient there, perhaps, possibly. Maybe. The fallout from this has been huge. So here's a screenshot, right? Let's read it out together. Black people ruined my life. She's saying black in quotation marks there because they're actually brown. They can't function in a society, so they took my future. They're mad at me and my boyfriend proved a point. All they know is to act ghetto and racist and low class. White power, I don't care anymore. Wrong! It's a fake account. Idiots. Dumbasses. Wrong! The real account ends with 2 N's, not an NS. Fools! Gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. We're gonna get back to that. Same with this one. I'm sorry. You guys ruined my fucking life. I'm no longer going to my dream college, and my boyfriend and I now have no future. The content of this, what is this, Instagram, is correct, but the actual post is not from that person. These posts are from that person. I want to apologize for the abhorrent video I posted. I know in my heart how wrong it was. My boyfriend is racist, and he slowly normalized his racism on me. Still, I should never have let him. I believe blacks are humans too, made in the image of Christ. I have disappointed God, and I want to apologize. Please don't contact my college. It's my future, and one mistake should not ruin a life. Also, please stop with the death threats. Again, I apologize. Sincerely, Steph. I promise to dedicate my life to serving God and treating every human being with respect. I do not expect the public to forgive me, nor do I deserve it. But I pray God forgives my sins. That's the only way we heal. But I do take issue with one thing. Hatred does not defeat hatred. Threatening, bullying, and canceling me, funny to see how far that word's gotten, will not resolve the world's problems. Please, I urge everyone to seek God and find peace in Him. I understand why people are angry at me, but how will ruining my life change that? My parents live fear for my life. This is not fair. For the love of God, stop sharing the video and my name and picture. You can see the tone raises a little bit. You do not know what this feels like. I've never been this scared. It just isn't fair. Imagine you're a stupid teenager just going along with stupid teenager stuff, and then your life gets ruined. Forever. People not caring what's in your heart or what you're really like, only defining you by a stupid video. Please, please stop sharing. So, we've been having a normal one on social media. Yeah, the fake account here. Okay, credit where credit is due. This is funny. This is the fake account somebody made to make fun of her, where they tried to insinuate that she gave herself dreads to repent, and then said she's pro Black Lives Matter now. This is very funny. These aren't dreads. Okay, sorry, whatever. Hair that is more colloquially associated with black culture than with white culture. Fuck off. Braids. Sure. Okay, Jesus. I don't know anything about hair. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Now, okay. So that's all very funny. Now, cornrows? Wait, are those cornrows? I thought those were like box braids. Are they? I can't see the front. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Please stop. Okay, please. I just made one mistake in this video about hair. Please don't cancel me. I fear for my life. Please don't judge me, okay? All right. You're over. Ruin his life. So that all happened. And look at my text, Artemy broke his feet. Don't say that to me. Oh, I see. Okay, he's just sitting in a stupid position. Wow, that is a very stupid position. How does he even do that? Can you see that? He's got his beans like bent Well, he's fine, I imagine. Okay. Remember how at the beginning of all this I said the answer might surprise you? I'm gonna open with a sort of a preface here, and the preface is that this bitch dumb as hell. That's my preface, okay? I don't give a fuck about her. She's stupid as shit. Racist. Hate this God shit. Everyone seek God and find peace. No, I hate this shit. I think this is some. I hate this fucking this template apology tour. You know, religious people always do this shit. They think their piousness compensates for their moral deficiencies. And the moment they get caught doing something bad, they bury their face in the Bible as a way of, oh, I'm but a weak human, but the light of the Lord guides us all, and I hope to return to His path one day. Like, I hate that shit. I've heard it a lot. Okay, I know religious people. I hate that shit. Okay, it's a really great way to avoid taking responsibility. But I am a little bit concerned about the extent to which we are willing to adopt uncharitability when somebody does something so obviously stupid. So I'm just going to ask a few questions, and I genuinely want you to chew on them for a second. She made the argument that her behavior was normalized. Or I'm sorry, that she isn't racist or whatever, but her boyfriend is, and her boyfriend's racism kind of rubbed off on her. She would have been a high school student at the time, so she would have been like 17, maybe 16 when she met this guy. And if he's older, which he looks older, and he's racist, it's entirely possible that his behavior really could have rubbed off on her. What if that was something that she, through sort of exigent, or not exigent, somebody told me I always misuse that word, through sort of extraneous social circumstances was led to, and now her apology tour, if while poorly phrased, is genuinely sincere? What if there was a grooming element? What if we don't actually know what the age gap is? Not the age gap. We don't actually know what like the mask off gap. Go to her Instagram and read her story right now. Link it to me. I don't know her fucking Instagram. No excuse for racism? Well, no, see here, that's the thing. Okay, that's the issue. I don't believe that. We're leftists. We're supposed to believe in rehabilitation. Like, we are supposed to. That's kind of our thing. We aren't fucking Americans. Well, I am an American, but we don't act like Americans, where we see somebody do something bad and we freak out and want the rest of their life ruined. How would you feel if somebody posted a video of like a black teenager in a hoodie doing some, let's be real, like really horrible shit, like running up to like a white dude and cold clocking him in the back of the head, or like taking a baseball bat to a car or something before running off and like throwing a gang sign in front of the camera? That stuff happens in the real world, you know? That's a thing that happens in the world. But if somebody took a video of that and then that video got 8 million views and that person's life was ruined, black racism doesn't equal white racism? I didn't say black racism. I said black punching a person in the back of the head, which is a pretty bad thing to do. I think that we would be willing to take a step back and say like, well, okay, this is obviously horrible, but maybe there are socioeconomic circumstances which may have led to this, which we can't fully take into account. We don't know what this person's upbringing was. And likewise, we don't know what that woman's, or girl, I guess, because she's really young, we don't know what that girl's upbringing was. We don't know if she had like crazy racist family members, which, I mean, just judging from her look and her accent and the boyfriend that she had, I'm going to guess she probably did. We don't know the extent to which her behavior was kind of coerced from others. There is a tremendous social pressure in buying into collective bigotry. I'm happy I didn't grow up in a neighborhood where this is the case, but I know this is the case where if you are like born in a racist area with racist like schoolmates and racist parents, it can be like really tough to break free of that. And that doesn't mean it's okay to do what she did, but are we really comfortable with every instance of unacceptable behavior being leading to one's life being ruined? I'm pretty sure there are videos you could have taken me back at 15, 16 years old that if they had gotten really unlucky, could have ended up being, you know, of this level of bad. Maybe not that exact level. And it all would have been like misplaced, edgy, like shit humor. But I can understand how that like could have gotten taken like way out of context too. And I mean, look at me now, you know? Now, people keep telling me to look at her Insta, so I guess I'll do that. I don't know how relevant. Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. There's one post. But stop sending death threats to my family. Can we agree that one is fake? Okay. This one is real? I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this one is fake. On account of the fact that this is probably not something that she would do. Click the story? What is a story? I don't use Instagram. What's a story? I don't... What? Click the profile picture. Okay. All right. This is somebody impersonating me. I never wrote that. I wish I could turn back time. Never in my life have I felt this hated and depressed. Oh, no, wait, that was funny. No! No, please, stay. No, pause. 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 Okay, I have to hold the click. Never in my life have I don't use Instagram, you guys. Have I felt this hated and oppressed by others, but because of this I now realize how it feels when blacks claim to face oppression, racism, and prejudice in this country and the after effects that result from it. I want to use this newfound realization to turn this negative into a positive, and I really hope you can put your differences aside to help achieve this positive. I want to give back to these communities and help improve them, but I don't know where to start. Please, any and all suggestions are welcome. I really want to make things right. Right. Okay. Remember how I said at the beginning of this that I still think she's a dumb bitch? That's not the account. Stop! Let's refocus our perspective a little bit, okay? It's not the account though. I don't care. I don't care what the account is. Don't link me any more shit. We have all the information we need to make a strong sociological case for laying the fuck off here. Here are my arguments, okay? Everyone shut up and listen to them. First of all, as leftists, we should be concerned with rehabilitation. If we write people off just because they do one shitty thing, I think that's pretty fucked off. Fuck up. I hate you people. Pretty fucked up. I am of the opinion, hey, if you're posting not safe for work links in chat without marking them, that's permaban material. I am of the opinion that if you commit a murder, there should be a world in which you can be rehabilitated. If you rape people, I believe there is a world where you can be rehabilitated. These are heinous, heinous crimes, but I still believe, fundamentally, that we should believe in people's ability to improve. If we don't believe that, then we might as well execute them or throw them in jail indefinitely. Neither of which are things I would like to associate with the leftist movement, okay? What this bitch did is incredibly fucking racist, and I don't think there is any excuse or justification for her doing it unless somebody literally had a gun to the back of her head. But my concern is, which I assume is not the case, but I'm not here. My concern is not whether or not she is a good person. My concern is whether or not our response to this incident is conducive to our broader values as leftists. Here's a funny piece of information, for example. Did you know, I will clarify, there's so much misinformation circling right now, I don't actually know if this is true, but I believe it is. That is not actually a new video, and that was not something she posted. That was something that she had privated with her boyfriend that she had taken over a year ago, and then it got sent to a friend who then released it. So this isn't even recent. This is something that happened in the past that was never publicly released. Have you ever had anything done in private that would make you look bad if it was released in public? I don't know if this is the case or not, but we don't actually know the circumstances which led to this. Yeah, I see there's a lot of... Yeah. Come on. We're not perfect. We make mistakes all the time. And while admittedly the mistakes I've made have never been this bad, thank God, you know, I just worry that we're kind of enabling a culture where we don't consider people capable of moving forward or being convinced. See, this is what I mean. The Bob father says, "You're acting like this girl is getting the death penalty, but she'll be fine in 5 years at most." I think that's a really, really callous way to refer to, like, human lives. She's been kicked out of high school. Her college course has been derailed. She's receiving death threats. Her family might have to relocate. There's an enormous amount of doxing and harassment that's going on online. I don't know. I don't think that's a good attitude to take towards this sort of situation. Do we really, is that really how we want to leave, like, justice and rehabilitation up, like how mad people get? Because at that point, we're not actually punishing people for how bad the things they do are. We're punishing them for how clippable and how viral the bad things they do are. Now, and that's not good. That's not good. That's not a good long-term strategy for building a just society. Her being expelled was justified. Let's talk about, how about this? Let's talk about what we think is justified and what we think is unjustified. How about that? I think that's fair and reasonable, okay? Do you think the real left is really upset about this? Probably. I don't know or care. I'm just sharing my opinions on this. I'm sure there are people here who agree with my opinion or who disagree, and I'm just happy to talk about it. So let's talk about what could or could not be justified. I think expulsion is extremely justified. This bitch was, the high school probably got 1,000 emails like the hour after that video was made public. Like an insane deluge of info. I think that's probably something that the school like had a right to do. This girl and the boy are probably going to be ostracized like crazy in just about every environment they find themselves in. To what extent is this ostracization justified? Well, here's the problem. I love ostracizing racists. I love it. I love it, folks. My favorite thing in the world. I'm very pro First Amendment, you know. I don't want to silence the free speech, the First Amendment rights of racists or Nazis or anything. I want people to do that for the government. I want us to make that. I don't want people to get arrested for saying Jews will not replace us or whatever. The police shouldn't even need to show up. We'll take care of it. We'll show them the error of their ways. That's what I believe in. I don't want to give that power to the state. I want to give it to the people. So ostracizing racists is very, very, very important to me. But here's the thing. I want to ostracize racists, not former racists. We are not capable of knowing whether or not this girl has changed her mind. We will never know now. She will always be known, or at least for a very long time, as the racist. But people's minds and perspectives can change. We don't know when that video was recorded relative to its release. And likewise, we don't know how her perspective has changed since the release or recording of that video. We don't know if she's racist right now. We only know that she was. So am I comfortable with a person being forever ostracized because they were once racist? No, because then we discourage people from trying to get better at all. Tell me, do you think there would ever be a chance of conservative-leaning people ever going public about changing their views towards more left-leaning egalitarian principles if it was widely known that all we care about is whether or not you've been racist in the past and not whether or not you are currently racist? I think our ability to convince people to change minds and to build, you know, a broader tent to bring in more people, I think that's kind of predicated on our like their knowledge that we're willing to take more people in. And I don't want to gatekeep people like that. We should ostracize people like Nick Fuentes and Stefan Malamine? Yeah, because they're currently racist. They're currently Nazis. They're doing it now, you know? They're in the right now. Right now, Nick Fuentes is Naziing at this moment. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know what exactly he's doing, but I'm sure he's doing it right now. What about PewDiePie once saying the N-word? Again, I don't think PewDiePie should be canceled for having said the N-word once. I think that PewDiePie should be canceled for habitually enabling alt-right sentiment in his audience, constantly playing to their interests, and doing absolutely nothing to distance himself or disavowing those communities as one of the largest media figures in the history of the planet. Hardly a comparable situation here, no? I think that people's degree of accountability should scale, A, in part to their level of influence. Who the fuck is this bitch? She's just some high school girl. She's not Nick Fuentes. She's not Stefan Molyneux. She's not PewDiePie. She's just some girl. I believe your level of accountability should scale with how much power and influence you have, and also with the degree to which you are currently engaging in those behaviors, or at the very least passively enabling by not distancing yourself from them. All she's been doing over the past few days is posting crazy fucking hyper chaste religious rants on how God has shown her the way and the way is not racism or something. Exactly, a Jew for you. Vosh, this is how hate groups keep their members, because they convince them nobody else will accept them. That's fucking true. That's fucking true. Guys, watch a documentary on hate groups. This is incredible. Thank you so much for bringing that up, a Jew for you. That is very, very true. Because when you start getting into a hate group, very rarely when you get into a hate group does it start with, haha, welcome, my fellow Nazi. Shake hands, then go, let's do Nazi stuff. Very rarely. It starts out like a cult does. You get them in on the outer layers, you know, like, hey, we just have some questions about the way white people are treated in society. You pull them in further. Hey, who do you think is responsible for this? Don't you think there's, you know, like one tribe of people who are more responsible than others for the dissemination of interracial pornography and media that depicts interracial relationships? Hey, and you pull them in and in and in. And once they're in, you've got them, because at that point you can convince them like, hey, you know, sure, your life may be shit and we treat you like shit and there's no love and no brotherhood in our community. Who the fuck else is going to take you? You're a Nazi. You got a tattoo, dude. You're not going anywhere else. You're with us. That's how cults do it. That's how hate groups do it. That's how fucking weird polygamous sects, fucking Mormons out in Utah do it. This is how you pull people in and you never ever let them leave. It is sad. And gangs, yeah, gangs do it too. Yeah. Gangs do it too. So let me be perfectly clear about this, okay? From a utilitarian standpoint, I think that hyper ostracizing people with no room to allow them growth, A, distances themselves from the consequences of their actions because they're only being blamed for something they did and not for things they're doing. B, makes it more likely that they're going to serve as a martyr for actual racists and actual right-leaning people. C, makes it more likely that they're going to get some fucking talk show job with Fox News or whatever because nobody else will take them and they know that, so they have to lean hard into it. And D, betrays our broader leftist values of rehabilitation because it means we're not really giving people the opportunity to change, even though I know for a fucking fact that some of you people in the audience right now, some of you, not all of you, not even most of you, have done stuff as bad as that before. And now you're here. I know some of you have. Got a lot of reformed conservatives in my community. Agreed, Aubrey. Anyway, that's my point. I want to reiterate, just like to close. This is a dumb fucking bitch. I don't care about her fucking boyfriend. And I don't know if she's like actually racist or not, or if this is just some like crazy, like edgy shit that she thought would be funny, but it wasn't, and she was like dumb at the time. I don't know. I genuinely don't care. And it could entirely be possible that this woman is a genuinely hateful person down to her core, and no amount of rehabilitative sentiment will ever fix that. That could very, very, very well be the case. But I don't think that means we get to slack off with our values. Ideally, what I would like to see when stuff like this happens, you know, ideally, so it's never gonna happen, but ideally, what I would love to see is people like collectively coming together and saying like, this is really fucked up. Have you changed? That's the line I want. That's the line that I would want more than anything else. Like, that's the tone of the discourse. Not, this is fucked up, fuck her, kill her family or whatever, because they are getting death threats. But this is fucked up, have you changed? Put the mic in her hand. And if she fucks up after that, if she gets handed the mic, if she posts the Twitter fucking story, the Instagram story, whatever, that you have to hold to click to not make the picture advance, and she's like, I can't believe how unfairly people are treating me. Okay. But if she's given that space and she says, holy shit, I'm so fucking sorry. I literally have like no apologies. This is the worst shit in the world. I totally understand the skepticism. Just, oh my fucking God, please don't send me death threats, okay? Please, Jesus. I think there's such a huge difference between those two things, and I think it's so important we give people that space. That's it. Now, realistically, there's no real way, like, for any of us to stop the way that internet hate mobs work. But, God, you know, it's nice to imagine. It's nice to imagine.